All right, Moose, we got an awesome one today. He's a Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champion. Took the Tennessee Titans to the AFC title game this past season. Mike Vrabel.
What's up, boys? What's up, Mike? By the way, is it okay to Mike or Coach or where do we go with this?
You know what? I think probably whatever you guys would call me back in 2005. Let's go with that.
Okay, Braves. Then that's it.
I figured
I was new to the game. I'm going to call you sir still.
The other title we could give you is maybe greatest Patriots tight end of all time, because Christian Fourier still bitches that you stole his Super Bowl touchdown.
He was never in the game plan. He, that wasn't that hard, fellas, to be honest with you. I know that Christian was a great teammate. I love seeing people send me stuff about how he still complains to this day. And, you miss that. You miss that when you leave the game. You miss the camaraderie. You miss the locker room. Those are things that I'll always miss. And, that's why you try as long as you can.
Well, it's funny. You say that you miss it, but from what we hear, you're still giving your tight ends, other than Delaney Walker, the business that you're better than they are, too.
No, I just always joke with them. And, I can't go out there anymore. If I could, I would. I would still go out there. It's a heck of a lot better playing in this league than coaching in it. But I can't go out there anymore. I can't do what those guys do. But I do try to give as much input as I can and try to help where I can at any position.
I gotta take it back, because you used to do a regular segment with us. When you're talking about the kids, it takes me back. One time we had shot the show, and then afterwards I went to lunch at Ruby Tuesdays. So I owe you. You bought my lunch at Ruby Tuesdays. You and the family came in, said hello. You bought the lunch at Ruby Tuesdays. So I owe you, and I maybe like a Ruth's Chris, so I'll upgrade. How about that?
Yeah, inflation.
Yeah, of course.
And it was like a brand new Ruby Tuesdays right there by like 123 or just off of 495. It's like the nice restaurant in Taunton right off that exit.
Oh yeah. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. By the way, do you miss Mike Felger, like his face or his voice, or what do you miss most about him?
I would say that I miss Mike Felger the same way that I used to miss having ingrown toenails with cleats on.
That works.
Do we really lead into it?
Yeah, tell him, Moose.
Yeah.
Tell
Okay,
him we do.
all right, fine.
Tell him this is the holiday edition.
Fine.
A lot of people have that reaction. He offends a lot of people.
It's like he's never left. I thought that he would eventually leave, but
no.
Apparently
that was a radio guy, Mike.
His wife made too much money up there; he couldn't leave.
Yeah. So as we see, you're still quite good at being the ball buster. And one of the things that we always just were amazed at is how much you would give the needle to Belichick in front of the media. Like, you were not afraid to give him a hard time. And can you kind of give us a little bit of a clarity? We've talked about the time that you showed up at practice and you were wearing a Giants helmet. What brought that about?
Not every day. I'm not going to say every day because that would be an exaggeration, but every other day is not an exaggeration that he would reference the New York Giants. And he'd be like, Banks used to do this, and, Pepper used to do this, and LT, and like, you guys stink. Like, these guys were 3-4 linebackers. And he would show us film. And so finally I was like, okay, we got to do something. And I found this old helmet in the equipment room. And I was like, you know what? I think now's the time to roll with it. Come out there and be like, here we go, Bill. We got the Giants linebackers going.
You're sitting there. I remember you sitting there at stretch with this old, like, it was a step above like a leather helmet.
It was like a quarterback mask.
Yes.
Bar.
Like, it was just like me, Teddy, Larry. Like, it was like the old guys from the Muppets. Like, we didn't stretch. Like, we just sat around in a circle and sat there and just told jokes for 12 minutes.
By the way, I've heard you kind of let your guys have some fun. Tell us the story. Ben Jones, your center, likes to give a special celebration, and he gave you one for your birthday?
So Ben, I don't know how he got it or if they celebrated birthdays where he grew up, but he has somewhat of a fetish for for birthdays. And so if it's your birthday, he's going to hide. He's going to hide under in the closet, come in a meeting room, hide underneath the training table. Nobody's off limits. It's powder, it's mayonnaise, it's butter, it's whipped cream. Nobody's gotten whipped cream. It's cottage cheese, and I can't stand cottage cheese. So I was sitting in there, and it's like my first training camp. Birthday's always in the middle of camp, and I'm just like day off, and I'm like thinking like, okay, what do we need to cover? What am I missing? What's wrong here? And he comes strolling in, and I was like, hey, Ben, how's the baby doing? And he's like, boom, and he nails me with a plate full of cottage cheese. All over the computer, all over the TV. It's in the keyboard, and he just sprints out. And I'm like shocked. For 2 days, I think I had a piece of cottage cheese in my eardrum because I would be like I would smell it, but I couldn't see it anywhere on my face. And I'm like,
I think I could still see it in there.
Yeah, I think there's a piece. And it was just like 2 years ago. Like for 2 days, I'd be like, God, I didn't get rid of cheese.
That's pretty nervy for a kid to do for his with his first year coach. I mean,
well,
talk about putting your foot down.
The one thing that I always appreciated that Bill did is you can't ever take yourself too seriously, and you have to be able to laugh at yourself to be able to be a part of a team. And that's the same type of culture that we're trying to have here. That when they imitate me and they make fun of me, I at least I know they're listening to me.
They only kid because they care, right?
Yeah.
What's your Mike? Do you have like a good Brady story? You got one? I just thought of that.
The one that everybody has heard. It's my first time over there at tight end. I run a route and I'm wide open. I'm in the background like Tommy, and I'm waving my arms in the end zone, and he throws it somewhere else, and I come back and I'm like, dude, I was wide open. He's like, Mikey, I know who's open on every play. If you ever yell my name, wave your hand, I'll never throw you the football again. I was like, well, you don't ever say that to Randy when he does that.
You know what cracked me up was that when you guys are at camp, right? It's 1 billion degrees. First day Patriots are there. You come strolling out in like basically a warm-up suit. Like long sleeves. And you're like, he doesn't even get to me. And you just walk around, you start chirping Brady, telling him not to walk out of practice. And I mean, you were letting him have it. And it was like, I'm like, oh man, he's the same dude he was as a player, as a coach.
Yeah.
That must have been fun.
That's why, you try to be as real as you possibly can. I know that I have a job and I have to make, decisions that are in the best interest of the team. But, I just felt like at that point in time, Tom needed to not walk on a practice field, especially down here in Tennessee.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think he got the point.
Yeah.
We do a thing. If you have a quarantine house and you can only have one of your former teammates, who do you need in that house and why?
I need Larry Izzo.
Because?
Or Matt Castle or Wes Welker. They're going to rotate. Those guys never had a bad day. They're make everybody in my family laugh. They were great teammates. Nice. I just
love it.
Any one of those three, you'd be just fine.